Hey there, my name is Martin. I'm a transport enthusiast and photographer from Melbourne, Australia, and I run this YouTube channel called Taitset. I'm very lucky here in Melbourne that there's no shortage of interesting things to make videos about. We have the world's largest tram network with the world's busiest tram corridor. We have a huge electrified suburban railway network with 16 lines radiating up to 60 kilometres from the city. And we also have an extensive regional passenger network covering most of the state of Victoria. But it's the suburban network that I find endlessly fascinating, and it's what I make the majority of my videos about. The system evolved from a steam-operated network in the 19th century, and we actually still run a lot of steam trains in the suburbs today with a very well-established mainline preservation scene. Our first electric trains started running in 1919, and you can still ride one of those today too. These wooden-bodied EMUs are known as Tait trains, and a set of them might be referred to as a Tait set. That's what the channel's named after. Melbourne's network today is one of great contrasts. We've got some beautiful old stations dating from the early electrification era and before, often complete with the original overhead wiring structures, many of which are over a century old now. But we also have a lot of brand new stations, mainly due to our massive level crossing removal project, which has seen not only the removal of many level crossings, but the complete rebuild of numerous stations, either elevated above road level or sunk below it in a trench. Despite over 100 crossings having been removed or set to be removed in the near future, we're far from eliminating them entirely, and there are still over 60 road crossings in the suburban area with no plans for removal, including 2 that also feature tram lines, manually protected by mechanical interlocking. The outer parts of our network can look very rural. My local line, the Hurstbridge line, winds through the bush as a single track, crosses several private driveways, and passengers can almost always spot a few kangaroos along the way. I made a 40-minute video all about it if you're into that kind of thing. In the city centre, the majority of our lines run through the underground city loop, which opened back in the 80s, providing 3 major underground stations below the CBD. And the loop won't be our only underground line for long, because right now the Melbourne Metro Tunnel is being built, which is a 9-kilometre tunnel connecting the Sunbury line to the Pakenham and Cranbourne lines, with 5 new stations. I've been remarkably lucky to be invited to film inside the Metro Tunnel before it opens to the public, which has allowed me to make videos touring several of the new stations, and I even got to ride one of the test trains under the city. The Metro Tunnel marks a pretty radical change for Melbourne. It's our first use of platform screen doors and automatic train operation, and when viewed in isolation, it's the closest thing we have to a dedicated metro line. But once above ground, this route is still very much part of the broader network, sharing the line with regional DMUs and even freight trains. I've been photographing and filming trains for 23 years at last count, and I've built up a big archive of images to work with, which means I'm able to illustrate my videos with almost exclusively my own footage. I also like to include a few drawings and animations, and occasionally I film some scenes using miniatures. I also quite enjoy drawing track diagrams, and often use them in my videos to help show what's going on. In fact, I've made videos explaining all of Melbourne's major inner-city rail corridors using these diagrams. On the tram side of things, our tram network has quite a bit in common with Toronto's. It's an old system that survived the widespread tramway destruction of the mid-20th century. In fact, it was the only Australian tram system to do so, with the small exception of Adelaide, where one single line remained running. Unlike Toronto, however, we have a really diverse fleet of different tram types running in service, from the short single-section A-Class to the big articulated E-Class. And of course, the Melbourne tram, the W-Class, which operate our City Circle tourist route. All up, we have 7 main types of trams in service in 2025, and it's actually 11 classes if you include subtypes. While we do have a few very notable pedestrianised and off-street right-of-ways, including this lovely bit through Royal Park, the majority of the network still runs in mixed traffic. Most of my videos cover topics in my home state of Victoria, but I do also make the odd interstate video. I've made several about Sydney, including a ferry video I'm rather fond of, and I've also covered the Ski Tube Rack Railway, our own little slice of Switzerland in the New South Wales Southern Alps. So if any of that seems interesting to you, please do consider checking out my channel, and thank you very much to Reese for hosting this video.